welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about what to do once you become obsessed with houseplants. You're a new plant mom, you have the whole wide world in front of you, there's so many plants to buy, so little money to spend, and you just have no idea where to start. You don't know what you like. You see a lot of people throwing around the words like ZZ, philodendron, anthurium, and alocasia. You don't know what any of these things mean. So I'm going to be giving you my tips on what to do when you become a new houseplant enthusiast. My first tip is do not go 0 to 100. And this piece of advice actually originally comes from Harley G. Harley makes a great point in her videos that you will have all of these plants unless you kill them for like the rest of your life, right? So there's no need to go and just buy a whole bunch of plants when you're a beginner, because one, you're gonna lose a lot of money because your plants, they could probably die. Like I killed a bunch of plants in the beginning. Two is you don't really know exactly what they need, so you could take care of them wrong. Three, kind of segueing into my next point, is you don't necessarily know what you like in plants yet. This is a really big problem. A lot of people, when they get into houseplants, they will just buy what they hear other people talk about and then realize that they do not like those plants. I had this issue a lot, especially when it came to succulents. Everyone was talking about all these succulents and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll get one. But I never liked succulents, and honestly, I still don't. I've got like one that I've had since literally my very first houseplant shopping trip, and he's still kicking. It's like, I'm not gonna throw him away. We've been on a long life journey together. It's important to remember that these plants are not going anywhere unless you kill them or throw them away or sell them. So make sure to take your time. You've got a lot of life left, and sometimes you'll see a plant and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I've never seen this plant before, I have to get it now. Just kind of like reel yourself back a little bit. Remember that you will see this plant again in the future, unless it's like something literally insane. But as a new houseplant person, you don't even know about the insane plants yet. You only know about the ones you can find at Lowe's or your local nursery. Like the first time I ever went houseplant shopping, I was like, Reed, let's go to Home Depot. And she was like, no, we're gonna go to Edward's greenhouse. Okay, our next tip is kind of, I touched on it for like a second. Make sure that you figure out what you really like in a plant. I really like philodendrons. I probably, 80% of my collection is philodendrons. There's just something about them. They're so good. I'm so good at taking care of them. Like they just explode. Monstera, unless it's like a deliciosa, not really my cup of tea, but that doesn't mean that it's not a great plant. It just means that I'm not necessarily into the genus. Oh, I love my dubia. My dubia is killing it right now. But yeah, just make sure that you don't just buy a plant because it's rare. Don't just buy a plant because other people are talking about it. A lot of people will buy a string of pearls because it's like, wow, so exciting, and then they get one and they kill it and they hate it. And it kind of ruins that plant for them. So just make sure that you look at plants, figure out what you like for yourself, and then you can buy that plant. But don't just buy a plant because it's like a fad. This next part is like the holy grail. You need to set yourself a plant budget, because once you have caught the plant bug, there is no going back. Pretty soon you're spending $160 on one plant like I did in yesterday's video. You gotta set a plant budget. And when you're setting a plant budget, when it gets to the more intense parts, like where I'm at, I'm deciding between like, do I wanna go eat out more this month or do I want another plant? That's where you're at. Because when you budget and allow yourself to have money to go spend on plants, you don't feel guilty like when you do a surprise trip and you go and you buy plants and then you're like, oh no, I'm out $15, I can't buy gas. I have somehow always managed to afford the plants that I want, and it's because I set money aside every single day for the ones that I know that I really want. So make sure you set a plant budget. And this also leads us into our next point, which is do not go on a plant ban. I cannot say this enough. Don't go on a plant ban. Here's why, and I'll probably make a whole video on why plant bans are the worst thing in the world, but here's the thing. When you go on a plant ban, you are thinking every single day about how you're not going to buy a plant, it puts it in the front of your mind instead of in the back of your mind. So like when you just have plants and you're not on a ban, you're like, yeah, I want to buy that, but I either don't have enough money, or I want this one instead, or I'm saving. But if you're on a plant ban, it's like, the reason you can't buy the plant is because of a ban, which is something you can easily break because usually there's nothing holding you accountable to that ban. If you set yourself a rule like, okay, I've gone over my plant budget, I will not buy another plant, then you're solid because now you have something rock hard to hold you down to earth to remind you that you cannot buy another plant this month. An awesome Instagram account whom I love so much, she started a group plant ban like a couple days ago, and the first day in, like after one day, she posted on her story and was like, how's your plant ban, or what plants have you bought so far on your plant ban? And someone bought a Warocqueanum, they bought a Radicans, they bought like all these really expensive plants, and it's because all of a sudden, instead of being able to have this ability to buy something, but you're holding off because of a realistic reason, all of a sudden now you can't, which makes you want to do it more, right? So just don't go on a plant ban. It's not worth it. You're gonna spend so much money. I've never gone on a plant ban because it's like, first of all, plants make me happy, and I am stressing out in college right now. Like I was just, today, I took a nap and I'm awake now, but I was up for 30 hours doing midterms. Like plants are my only solace. And if I want to go to the plant store and buy a little pilea because it makes me happy and it costs like $5, dude, who cares? Set yourself a budget. Don't go on a plant ban. Okay, moving into the more fun part of the video. When you are new to plants, there's so much to learn, right? Like I learned everything about plants that I know from YouTube. Because there are so many awesome houseplant creators out there that are teaching about plants, which I don't do. I do like tours and fun, like goofy videos, right? I'm just gonna share with you the 4 YouTubers that I watched religiously. And when I mean religiously, I mean every day, all day. When I was working at my old job, I would have it playing when I didn't need to be listening to audio. Like it was an influx 24 hours a day. I was obsessed. Here's the 4 YouTubers that I would watch every single day, morning till night, to learn everything that I learned about houseplants. Plantarina, of course, she's a big one. She really teaches about propagation. I learned how to propagate Monstera deliciosa from her. She also just teaches about different kinds of species and varieties, and I love her dog Chubbs. He's so cute. So all of her videos are so fun to watch, and she will respond to DMs. She's a much more, I would say she's one of the more popular plant YouTubers, like probably right below Summer Rain Oaks. Like Summer Rain's like the top, but yeah, right below her is Plantarina. The next YouTuber that I watched the most is one of my friends. That's so crazy to say now. Harley G. Love Harley. She was the one I got into first. So I watched Jenna Marble's video, right, when I did plants. Then I watched Harley's video because they came up in the recommended. And Harley is just such a personable human being. She is so real. Like when you watch her, you don't feel like you're watching someone on YouTube. She's not doing a character. She's completely herself. She does repotting videos. Sometimes she does live streams. She hasn't done one in a while, but she does houseplant tours. Like she really is such a houseplant YouTube icon. She does so much for the plant community. She responds to messages, and she's just someone who, when you watch her videos, it's hard not to listen. I definitely recommend watching her. The next YouTuber that has really does a lot of insightful videos, like I found most of the rare plants that I liked from her channel, and this is Kaylee Ellen, obviously. Her Rare Plant Index series has just completely blown up the plant world internet. Doesn't matter how you feel about her, I personally love her. She does, again, rare plant indexes, but she also does a lot of relaxing content, like repots with me, and she knows so much. So, plus she's based in the UK. She's one of the only UK houseplant YouTubers besides Betsy Begonia, who is in France. The final houseplant YouTuber that really has helped me learn so much is Nick Pileggi. He has a 500 houseplant collection, which is crazy. He knows so much. He does so many videos. He does what I bought last month plant video, and he talks about specific species, what he likes of peperomias, what he likes of philodendrons, what he likes of Syngonium. He's just so good at breaking things down. He's also an arid curator at Urban Jungle in Philadelphia, so check that out. And then lastly, I'm going to tell you my top 5 starter houseplants that will kind of teach you everything that you need to know about the basic needs of taking care of a houseplant. My number 1 is one of the first plants I ever bought, which is my Zamioculcas Zamiafolia ZZ. I bought mine for I think $13, and it literally just sits in the corner in the dark and grows. Like, it's a low light houseplant, and when I say low light, it doesn't mean dark. It means, like, you know, low ambient light. Seems like the less I water it, the better it does. But the next plant is the Hoya Carnosa, which is the regular green, kind of like long Hoya. This plant is great because it teaches you about succulent houseplants. So not succulents, but the houseplants that really don't need to be watered. It needs to be watered more than the ZZ, but I probably only water like 4-inch Hoyas once every week or once every 2 weeks. It really depends, and I can make a Hoya video. I know some of you have been begging me to do it, and I just haven't done it yet, but yeah, Hoya Carnosa. The next one is also in the Hoya family. It is the Hoya Crimson Queen. I've had my Hoya Crimson Queen forever. I found it is hardier and does not rot as quickly as the Crimson Princess. The Crimson Queen is where the white is on the outside and the Princess is where it's on the inside. I finally figured it out. But mine, I'm looking at it right now, and it is literally a slow grower, but it will teach you a lot about patience, and it will teach you a lot about variegated houseplants. The second to last houseplant that I would recommend is the Alocasia Frydek. And I know that seems like really intimidating because it's an alocasia. Oh my gosh, they drop leaves like all the time. Well, guess what? That's what they're supposed to do. I am working on an alocasia video for you guys right now because no one seems to know how to take care of alocasia. It's so easy. I've had mine since the very first day I ever went houseplant shopping, and we're still together. So I am nervous for when it goes dormant. I don't know how I'm gonna handle that. And finally, the very last plant is the Syngonium Albo Podophyllum. This plant is great because I think it's the very first step in real variegated plants that will actually teach you about how to take care of plants with large, white, thin sections. This plant is also great because it's not that expensive. These will usually run you like $25 to $30, and they are super good in medium light. They throw out new leaves all the time. They're basically pothos, but they look way cooler, and they're just such a fun, stylish plant. So thank you so much for watching this houseplant video. I hope that you guys liked all these tips. I've been thinking about making this video for a while. I know that when I very first started doing houseplants, I watched Harley G's video on what to do when you're a beginner houseplant mom, and it really helped me out a lot, so I decided to make my own version, and I hope that you guys liked it. Please make sure to leave a like, please comment, please subscribe, tweet me at David Dobrik. And if you watched this far, comment which of your first houseplants you still have from the very beginning, the first time you ever went shopping, from when you were really dedicated as a plant parent, which are the ones you still have, and if you still love them, or if you just keep them because you've had them for so long. So make sure to leave video suggestions in the description. I'm kind of running a little dry right now, so tell me what you want to see, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!